Understood. Same documentary tone, long form, calm, medically grounded, educational, respectful, no explicit detail. Designed for mature audience awareness. New topic. The silent testosterone decline. After 40, why desire, strength, and confidence slowly fade. Very long voiceover. Script. There's a shift many men feel but rarely talk about. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual, subtle, easy to dismiss. At first, it feels like stress, then fatigue, then maybe just age. But beneath the surface, something biological is changing. Testosterone levels begin to decline. Not dramatically, not suddenly, but steadily. And for many men, this slow hormonal shift affects far more than just libido. It touches energy, motivation, muscle mass, mood, sleep, confidence, even identity. Testosterone is more than a sex hormone. Most people associate testosterone only with sexual desire, but testosterone is a regulatory hormone. It influences muscle protein synthesis, bone density, red blood cell production, fat distribution, cognitive sharpness, mood stability, metabolic efficiency. When levels decline, the changes ripple across multiple systems. And because it happens slowly, men adapt without realizing what's occurring. The gradual decline. Unlike the dramatic hormonal changes women experience during menopause, testosterone decline in men is gradual. On average, levels decrease about 1% per year after the age of 30 to 40. By the time a man reaches his 50s or 60s, the cumulative drop can be significant. But blood tests may still fall within the normal range, and that's where confusion begins, because normal for age does not always mean optimal for function. Early signs. Men overlook. The early symptoms rarely feel sexual at first. They feel like lower morning energy, reduced drive to initiate tasks, slower recovery after workouts, increased abdominal fat, less spontaneous desire, mood fluctuations, sleep disturbances. Many men blame work stress, or lack of discipline, or simply aging. But often, the body is responding to reduced hormonal signaling. The sexual health component testosterone plays a critical role in sexual function. It supports libido, erectile quality, sensitivity, sexual confidence, ejaculatory function. When levels decline, desire often decreases first. Performance may follow, not always dramatically. Sometimes it's just less consistent, less reliable, less spontaneous. And for many men, that unpredictability affects self-esteem more than the physical change itself. Why erections change with age? Erections depend on three major systems: hormonal balance, blood flow, nerve signaling. Testosterone influences all three indirectly. Lower levels can reduce nitric oxide production, a molecule essential for blood vessel relaxation. Blood flow becomes less efficient. The result may be slower onset, reduced firmness, shorter duration. This isn't simply psychological, it's vascular and hormonal. The role of stress and cortisol. Chronic stress elevates cortisol. Cortisol suppresses testosterone production. Over time, prolonged stress reduces hormonal resilience. Men juggling financial pressure, career demands, family responsibility, and poor sleep often see a compounded effect. Stress doesn't just affect mood, it alters endocrine balance. Sleep, the overlooked hormone. Regulator. Most testosterone is produced during deep sleep, but deep sleep declines with age. Interrupted sleep, late nights, alcohol use, and sleep apnea further suppress production. Men who improve sleep quality often see measurable improvement in testosterone levels without medication. Sleep is not passive rest, it's endocrine repair time. Body fat and hormone conversion. Excess abdominal fat increases the conversion of testosterone into estrogen through an enzyme called aromatase. This shifts hormonal balance. More fat, more conversion, lower available testosterone. This is one reason weight gain and hormonal decline often appear together. It becomes a feedback loop. Lower testosterone promotes fat gain. Fat gain lowers testosterone further. The emotional side. Men don't discuss reduced testosterone can affect assertiveness, motivation, emotional resilience, competitive drive, confidence. Men sometimes describe feeling flat, less driven, less like myself. This isn't weakness, it's neurochemical influence. Hormones affect brain chemistry just as much as physical tissue. The good news, testosterone levels are modifiable, not always to youthful extremes, but meaningfully. Lifestyle changes often improve levels significantly. Resistance training, adequate sleep, reduced alcohol intake, body fat reduction, stress regulation, adequate protein intake, micronutrient sufficiency, zinc, vitamin D, magnesium. Small adjustments compound over months. The endocrine system responds to signals, just like muscles do. Medical evaluation matters. Not every symptom equals low testosterone. Thyroid dysfunction, depression, cardiovascular disease, medication side effects, and sleep disorders can mimic hormonal decline. This is why proper testing and physician guidance matter. Self-diagnosis leads to confusion. Data leads to clarity. What men notice when balance returns? When testosterone improves, even moderately, men often report more stable energy, clearer thinking, improved libido, better mood regulation, stronger workouts, increased confidence, not aggression, not exaggeration, just restoration. This is not about chasing youth. The goal is not to feel 25 again. The goal is functional vitality. Sexual health is not separate from overall health. It's a reflection of cardiovascular function, metabolic stability, neurological integrity, and hormonal balance. When sexual function changes, it often signals broader physiological shifts. Listening to that signal matters. Final reflection. Aging changes hormone levels. That's natural, but unexplained fatigue, declining desire, and fading confidence are not things men must silently accept. The body communicates through subtle shifts, and when those shifts are addressed through awareness, evaluation, and lifestyle support, function often improves. Your body isn't betraying you. It may simply be asking for recalibration, and recalibration is possible. There's another layer most men never consider. Testosterone does not work alone. It operates inside a hormonal network. When one hormone shifts, others adjust. Estrogen, often misunderstood in men, plays a role in libido, bone strength, and even mood stability. When testosterone declines, estrogen balance shifts as well. Too low or too high, and function changes. Then there's insulin. Chronic blood sugar spikes reduce testosterone production over time. Elevated insulin encourages fat storage. Increased fat tissue increases hormone conversion. The cycle tightens. What appears to be a sexual issue is often metabolic. Blood flow, the vascular foundation. Erectile quality is, at its core, a blood flow event. Healthy arteries expand. Nitric oxide signals relaxation. Blood fills specialized tissue. But vascular health changes with age. Plaque accumulation, reduced elasticity, endothelial dysfunction. These processes may begin years before symptoms appear elsewhere. In fact, erectile difficulty is sometimes the first visible sign of developing cardiovascular disease, not because the body is failing, but because the blood vessels in the penis are smaller and show restriction earlier than larger arteries. Sexual health becomes an early warning system, the performance anxiety loop. Then comes the psychological response. One inconsistent experience can plant doubt. Doubt activates stress. Stress increases adrenaline. Adrenaline restricts blood flow. The next experience becomes more difficult, not because the body cannot perform, but because it's in a fight or flight state. The brain and the vascular system must cooperate. When anxiety rises, cooperation falls. This creates a feedback loop that feels physical, but is partly neurological. Breaking that loop often requires reassurance, patience, and removal of pressure. Why frequency changes. Another quiet shift many men notice is reduced spontaneous desire. It doesn't mean attraction is gone. It means baseline hormonal drive has shifted. Desire becomes more responsive than spontaneous. Instead of appearing automatically, it responds to emotional connection, relaxation, and physical stimulation. This change is natural, but when misunderstood, it causes confusion. Men may interpret it as loss. In reality, it is evolution. The role of physical conditioning. Sedentary lifestyle directly affects sexual performance. Lack of movement reduces circulation efficiency. It increases inflammation. It lowers nitric oxide availability. It decreases testosterone signaling. Regular resistance training and moderate cardiovascular exercise improve endothelial health. Improved endothelial health improves blood vessel responsiveness. Improved responsiveness improves reliability. Sexual function reflects overall conditioning. Medications and hidden effects. Many common medications influence sexual health. Blood pressure medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, certain prostate treatments. They may alter nerve signaling, blood flow, or libido. Men often assume aging is responsible when medication side effects are contributing. This is why open communication with healthcare providers is essential. There are often alternatives. Prostate health and sexual function. As men age, prostate enlargement becomes common. Changes in urinary flow, pelvic pressure, and nighttime urination affect sleep and comfort. Sleep disruption reduces testosterone production. Pelvic tension affects erectile stability. Everything connects. Sexual health is not isolated, it reflects systemic balance. When men regain control, when men address sleep quality, body composition, resistance training, cardiovascular conditioning, stress management, medical evaluation, relationship communication, improvements are often gradual, but real. Confidence returns first, then consistency, then trust in the body, not perfection. Reliability, the emotional core. Sexual health is deeply tied to identity. It affects intimacy, connection, self-image, masculinity. When changes occur silently, many men internalize them. They don't talk about it. They withdraw. They compensate. But silence magnifies fear. Understanding reduces fear. The bigger perspective. Healthy sexual function requires functional blood vessels, balanced hormones, stable mental state, rested nervous system, supportive relationship dynamics. It is a whole body reflection. When sexual function changes, it is rarely random. It is information, and information allows adjustment. Final reflection. Aging alters hormone levels and vascular flexibility. That's natural, but persistent fatigue, declining desire, inconsistent performance, and loss of confidence are not simply inevitable. They are signals that something in the system needs attention, and when that system is supported, physically, hormonally, psychologically, improvement is possible.
Not because the clock turns backward, but because the body responds to care at any age. Your vitality is not defined by a single moment. It is shaped by daily signals, and the body is always listening. I'll see you in the next one.
Aging changes hormone levels. That's natural. But unexplained fatigue, declining desire, and fading confidence are not things men must silently accept. The body communicates through subtle shifts, and when those shifts are addressed through awareness, evaluation, and lifestyle support, function often improves. Your body isn't betraying you. It may simply be asking for recalibration, and recalibration is possible.